Formula One, often referred to as the pinnacle of motorsport, is synonymous with exceptional talent, technological innovation, and intense competition. However, beneath the glamour and high-octane drama lies a less celebrated truth. Not every driver reaches F1 solely on merit. Some drivers, known as pay drivers, have made their way into the sport with the backing of significant financial resources rather than purely through skill. This phenomenon has sparked debates among fans and pundits alike about the balance between talent and money in Formula One. What is a pay driver? In Formula One, a pay driver is a competitor who secures a seat in a team largely because of the financial backing they bring. This funding typically comes from personal sponsors, family wealth, or corporate connections. While talent remains a prerequisite to some extent, the financial contribution often becomes the deciding factor, especially for teams struggling to balance their budgets. For smaller teams, pay drivers can be a lifeline. Running an F1 team is astronomically expensive, with annual budgets running into hundreds of millions of dollars. Pay drivers, by bringing substantial financial support, help offset these costs, allowing teams to develop their cars, hire personnel, and stay competitive. Lance Stroll. Canadian driver. Lance Stroll is one of the most prominent examples of a modern pay driver. Backed by his billionaire father, Lawrence Stroll, Lance entered Formula One with Williams in 2017. Lawrence's financial influence not only secured Lance's seat, but also played a significant role in revitalizing the Racing Point team, now Aston Martin, by purchasing and restructuring it. Despite the criticisms, Lance has delivered commendable performances, including a podium finish in his debut season and a pole position at the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix. While his path to F1 was undeniably facilitated by wealth, his results have shown he possesses genuine talent. Nicholas Latifi. Another Canadian driver, Nicholas Latifi, made his Formula One debut with Williams in 2020. His journey to the sport was heavily supported by his father, Michael Latifi, a billionaire businessman and significant investor in McLaren. Latifi's tenure in F1 has been polarizing. While he brought substantial funding to Williams, his on-track performances often lagged behind his teammates. Despite the criticism, his financial backing provided crucial stability to Williams during challenging times. Pastor Maldonado. Venezuelan driver. Pastor Maldonado's F1 career was heavily supported by the Venezuelan state-owned oil company PDVSA. This sponsorship secured him a seat with Williams in 2011. Maldonado's career is remembered for its mix of brilliance and inconsistency. He achieved a stunning victory at the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix, but also gained notoriety for frequent crashes and mistakes. Despite the criticisms, his funding was instrumental in keeping Williams competitive during his tenure. Sergio Perez. Mexican driver Sergio Perez, now a seasoned veteran and Red Bull driver, started his F1 career with financial backing from Carlos Slim, one of the wealthiest individuals in the world. Slim's Telmex brand sponsored Perez through his junior career and into F1 with Sauber in 2011. Unlike many other paid drivers, Perez quickly silenced his doubters with strong performances, including podium finishes with midfield teams. His resilience and talent eventually earned him a seat with Red Bull Racing, where he has continued to prove his mettle. Yuji Ide. Japanese driver Yuji Ide's brief stint in Formula One with Super Aguri in 2006 is often cited as a cautionary tale. Ide brought significant sponsorship from Japanese companies, but his performances were far from competitive. He struggled to adapt to F1's demands and was eventually stripped of his super license after just 4 races. Ide's case highlights the risks of prioritizing financial backing over experience and preparation in a sport as unforgiving as Formula One. Nikita Mazepin. Russian driver Nikita Mazepin's entry into Formula One with Haas in 2021 was facilitated by his father, Dmitry Mazepin, a billionaire oligarch and owner of the company Uralkali, which became Haas's title sponsor. Mazepin's F1 career was plagued by controversy both on and off the track. His performances were underwhelming, and he frequently found himself at the back of the grid. However, his father's financial support was a lifeline for Haas, which faced significant financial challenges during that period. The positive side of pay drivers. While pay drivers often face criticism, their presence has some undeniable benefits. Financial stability for teams. Smaller teams rely on pay drivers to survive in an increasingly expensive sport. These drivers' funding can help teams invest in car development and remain competitive. Opportunities for sponsors. Pay drivers bring sponsors into the sport, increasing visibility and financial investment. This benefits not only the teams, but also Formula One as a whole. Talent development. Some pay drivers, like Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll, have used their initial opportunities to prove their worth, demonstrating that financial backing doesn't preclude talent. The downsides of pay drivers. Despite their contributions, pay drivers also pose challenges. Blocking talented drivers. Financially backed drivers may occupy seats that could go to more deserving but less affluent competitors, potentially stalling the careers of talented drivers. Performance gaps. Some pay drivers struggle to perform at the level required in Formula One, leading to disparities in competitiveness and criticism from fans. Reputational risks. Teams relying heavily on pay drivers may face reputational damage if the drivers underperform or are perceived as undeserving. Balancing talent and money. The presence of pay drivers in Formula One underscores a broader challenge in the sport, balancing the need for financial sustainability with the desire to maintain a meritocracy. Initiatives like the budget cap, introduced in 2021, aim to level the playing field by reducing the financial disparity between teams. This could, in theory, reduce the reliance on pay drivers by lowering operational costs. Additionally, Formula One's feeder series, such as Formula 2 and Formula 3, continue to emphasize talent development. Programs like the Ferrari Driver Academy and Red Bull Junior Team provide opportunities for young drivers to progress based on merit, offering a counterbalance to the influence of wealth. Drivers who buy their way into Formula One will likely remain a part of the sport for the foreseeable future. While their presence sparks debate, it's essential to recognize the complex dynamics at play. Pay drivers can bring much-needed funding and sponsorship to teams, but their inclusion must be carefully managed to preserve the sport's competitive integrity. Ultimately, Formula One is a blend of sport and business, and the coexistence of talent and money reflects this duality. The challenge lies in ensuring that the sport remains accessible to emerging talent while leveraging the financial support that pay drivers can offer. With continued efforts to balance these elements, Formula One can strive to maintain its status as the ultimate proving ground for racing talent.